Hello and welcome to the Your Way podcast. Today I am going to look at the topic of how we rest, because I received a message from someone recently where I said that I was going for a nap, and she said, "Oh, I find it really hard to rest in the day. Like, how have you managed to get to a place where you can nap?" And when I went to send her back a voice note, I thought, it's too long for a voice note, but it's a perfect topic for a podcast. So let's dive in to how do we learn to rest? So the first thing to say, and I think this is common for many, many people, is that there can be a real strong feeling that we need to be on and productive and doing all of the time. And what sits beneath this often is a fear of being ignored or overlooked or of being insignificant. And so we feel if we're constantly going and doing and being visible and productive, that we get to be seen and not ignored. And a lot of the time, this is because as kids, we were overlooked. Okay. And so there's this drive, or you might have had a situation where, so for me, I could have been at school all day and I'd done various active after school activities, and I would get in and I would do my homework. And then after dinner, I would sit down and put the TV on. And one of my parents would come in, turn the TV off and say, "Turn that rubbish off, go and do something productive." So it's deeply, deeply ingrained in us that we need to be productive and we need to be doing all of the time. And so it can feel, it's almost like a survival pattern that then when we think about resting during the day, it taps into this survival need that we have of, in order to be relevant, I need to be doing. So that's the thing that we need to look at first. Like, what is sitting underneath that makes it hard for us to rest? So that's something for you to think about. And actually, for me, one of the things that was quite helpful at the start was someone said to me that they see white space and resting and doing nothing as the most productive part of their day, because it's in the white space, it's in the nothing that creativity happens, that we process things, that the brain sort of churns over and does stuff. So actually we come up with our best ideas, we do our best work after periods of rest and white space. Now that was great for me because I was all about like productivity and efficiency. And I was like, oh, well, I can get on board with like the white space if it has this other benefit. So that was kind of where I started. And then from a nervous system perspective, we also want to think about this. So most of us are carrying around a lot of stress in our bodies. And when we are stressed, we are in an activated state in our nervous system. There is more adrenaline in our system. There's more cortisol in our system. And so actually relaxing and settling down is really, really challenging because we're in this like go, 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 but also our body is primed for, where's the threat? What do I need to fight? Who do I need to run away from? And in that place, let me just become partly conscious and have a sleep. It's just not going to be possible because the body's hyper vigilant. It's trying to figure out what's going on. It's trying to work stuff out. It's not going to rest. And so another super important part of how do we rest is to do work on the nervous system so that we can get ourselves into a calm and regulated state. Because in a calm and regulated state, we're then more able to rest and experience periods of relaxation throughout the day as well as at nighttime. And then another thing that goes into how we rest is believing that we deserve rest. So many, many people have very long to-do lists, and it's almost like this bargain that they have with themselves of, if I achieve X, Y, and Z, then I can start to consider my needs and might be allowed or able to look at rest and how I take care of myself and what I do around this. But until all of those things have been met, I can't do it because I don't deserve to rest. And so again, there is some work to do around understanding deeply that we do not have to earn the right to take care of ourselves. We do not have to earn the right to rest. We do not have to earn the right to matter. We don't have to earn the right to be worthy. It just is, right? All of those things, they're just a given. And so from that place, so from a place of, I no longer have a survival need within me that requires me to always be pushing and always be going. I understand the benefit of rest and white space. My nervous system is in a place where I can allow myself to rest and settle during the day. And I now believe that I am worthy of having this time for myself when I need it. All of those things together answer the question of, how do you get to a place where you can rest? And so the invitation for you is to try some of that stuff on. If some of it feels hard, get support. Obviously, I'm here if you'd like to come and speak to me about how I can help you. And really, as we're going into the rest of December, notice where you have a desire to rest and just start to notice what maybe gets in the way of you allowing yourself to do that. And on the topic of rest, the podcast will be having a little rest for the final 2 weeks of Christmas, as I have a little rest for the final 2 weeks of Christmas. And so there will be no podcast on the 21st or the 28th of December. So the invitation for you, if you want to listen to stuff, go back and listen to stuff. So the podcast last year, when it was called the Embodied Life Coaching Podcast, I think it was maybe episode 2 was All I Want for Christmas is a Regulated Nervous System. So you might want to go back and listen to that. But otherwise, I wish you well over this festive season. I wish you all the best for 2024. And go and let yourself rest and nourish yourself and give you what you need, because you matter and you don't have to earn it. All right, take care, and I will see you in 2024.